Welcome back, everyone, to our show. We're not doing video today because it's too difficult. Well, it's too time consuming. And it's a shame because Johnny looks wonderful today. He's lit brilliantly by the California sun, and his skin looks pristine and impeccable, like a China doll.
I know, this is like a miracle, and no one can see it except for you.
Yeah. So, okay, I don't know, like, should we just dive right into what we're talking about? Is there anything, like, what's going on in your life? Has anything happened in the last little while? We had to sort of take a week. Like, we haven't done a show in like a couple of weeks, I think. Is that right?
Feels like at least a week.
Well, at least a week. Maybe it's like 10 days. Oh yeah, we usually would do it on like Friday, but we're doing it now on Sunday or maybe Thursday or whatever. It doesn't matter. But anyways, what's going on in your life? Anything interesting?
Nope.
Okay, me neither.
What about you? Are you finished with your thing?
With Crossed?
Yeah.
I still have to finish the edit. Still not like completely edited yet. So there's your little update, all you little jerks who show up in the comments looking for me to answer questions about Crossed. When is the trailer coming out, they say?
Yeah.
I say, I don't know. I'm not doing the trailer. You know?
You have no say in the trailer?
Well, I mean, I don't even want to have a say in a trailer, to be honest. Like, I just want to finish the movie. All I care about is the movie. All the marketing and everything else. That's,
But isn't the trailer like you don't have any sort of thoughts?
I mean, like I do have thoughts, and I do have like opinions, and I do think moreover, I do believe that like a trailer does like, it affects the experience of watching a film. Like I would assume that the person who is watching the film has also seen the trailer. Trailer's supposed to like prime them a little bit for the film.
I was very proud of the Fuck My Son trailer. Because I was the one who told Todd, like, I think this would make a good trailer if you did it like this. And, I think I liked the trailer even more than the movie.
Yeah. Finally, he listens to a little bit of your input, the guy. What was the trailer? I forget. Was it just kind of like, it's just like
the
speech.
The light sort of comes on and you see Tipper tied to the pole and she kind of comes to and she's like, what the fuck's going on? And then you see this kind of shadowy old lady sitting in the chair, and she's kind of like, okay, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get my son nice, and he's going to get his penis erect. You're going to fucking put it inside you. He's going to ejaculate fully, and he's not going to wear a condom. And then Tipper's like, no condom. No, I'm not doing that. And then you just see the old lady like get up and walk off screen, and you just hear like screaming. And then there's like just kind of this montage of like crazy shit. Mm-hmm. And then it cuts to the old lady, Robert Longstreet, like in Tipper's face saying like, bugs fuck, birds fuck, dogs fuck, and nobody fucks him. Yeah. If you're gonna fuck him.
Yeah.
It's just very effective. Yeah, gives me chills thinking about
it. What it does is it lays out the groundwork. Like it tells you without any kind of mixed messages what the film is about.
But also I think like it's closer to the spirit of the book. Like it's a darker, like Todd did a more recent trailer, which was a little bit more wacky, a little bit more crazy, which I think is the actual nature of the film. But the first trailer is sort of more the spirit of the book.
Right. Yeah. Just sort of, the light coming on and then all of a sudden just someone speaking, and essentially just telling you about what the movie is.
Well, that's kind of what, cause I really was a huge fan of the Human Centipede trailer. The movie, not so much, but the trailer was great. Just like it really captured your imagination of like, oh my God, like this is insane.
Yeah, got to see it.
And
Got to
just
see
like
what they do here.
the Nazi guy saying like, okay, I'm gonna sew your mouth to his ass, and like people chained to their beds, like freaking out. And that was kind of like all the information, and it was just like, wow, that's really good.
Yeah, yeah. Do you remember the hobo with the shotgun trailer?
Yeah, it was terrific.
Yeah, where Rutger Hauer is like talking to a bunch of babies, and then
that was fantastic.
Yeah,
but it also doesn't really live up to the trailer.
The
film doesn't live up. The film does not live up to the trailer, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that sort of performance of Rutger Hauer talking to the babies in the what do they call that? The natal unit or something.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me chills when I first saw it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just going to be ringing this bell.
What's that bell for? Is that for your maid?
For my comic book school. Class dismissed.
Damn, you guys, of all the days to not have video, you know? Well, but that is good though. Like, you know, you should get more little sound making items, and
okay.
And then you can have
I'll be like Carrot Top. We'll just have a whole trunk of
you'll be like you'll be like a radio play, you know? Like you can have like make like the sound of a door opening, and you know, the sound of like someone walking down the hallway. A lot of walking and a lot of doors opening and closing.
Cruise enters Somerton Hall. Creak.
No, you would be like, it would be like knock knock knock, and then it'd be like, who the hell is that? And it's like, it's me, Tom Cruise, and then like, you know, oh, Tom Cruise, I left the door unlocked, you came through, oh my God. And then he would, so anyways, like let's continue on with our motion
Look at all this fucking
discussion. Yeah, you're just like slapping together two like pork chops, and just like, oh my God, her labia is huge. Her labia is so huge and like cauliflower.
We're both doing the voice of like a reporter from like 1935.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look at that labia.
It's the panic. It's the pan Atlantic accent. That's how everyone talked. What does that mean anyways? The pan Atlantic, like, 'cause that's what it's called.
It's all new to me.
You've never heard that before? That's the way that like radio guys would talk back then. But I didn't know
that was the name of it.
Yeah, well, it is.
I believe you.
Atlantic accent. It was designed, first of all, which is interesting, and it was designed for maximum clarity. And
who designed?
That's the interesting thing. It was popular in Hollywood films, and also elite, I guess, sort of because of that, elite American society. So like, you know, like cool rich people would talk like that, and then they would talk like that in the movies too. So it was just kind of like designed to be kind of the way that, you know, if you were cool, you talked like this. Kind of. Maybe it was just maybe that's what it was. Like before black people became the people who decide what's cool. Mm-hmm. This was the way that white people kind of tried to figure out what cool was. And it was the way it was talking like this. It was, hey, Johnny, we got to go to the fucking malt shop and fuck us some whores, you know, like that's was a way to talk.
What do you see? What do you say? It's like a Jimmy Cagney kind of a, like talking real fast talking. Like,
yeah,
His Girl Friday kind of real speedy.
The movie we're talking about today is Eyes Wide Shut, as per your request.
You don't like it?
No, I like it. It's just, I don't know that I have a whole lot to say about it, to be honest, but I'm familiar with it. And I mean, I guess it's also a film that I guess, you know, that has been discussed, you know, like more than on more than one occasion. And I'm not really sure what I can bring to the table personally. But you have stuff to say about it. And also, I guess it is fairly topical, given the release of the Epstein files, and also the subsequent destruction and deletion of the Epstein files after Congress decided that all the stuff relating to murder and sex and stuff should just be destroyed.
Was it? I didn't hear that it was destroyed. Every day I hear there's 500,000 new files released.
Yeah. Well, hold on a second. Let me.
I'm bummed that I wasn't named in any of the files.
You're not cool enough to get invited to.
Well, it's just even sort of like, hey, I read "Fuck My Son." It was really cool. Just to mention.
Right. Yeah. Let me ask my phone. Are the Epstein files going to be deleted or destroyed? Oh, okay. They're not going to. I read that they were, but I was just, you just see someone post something and you're just like, oh, okay, that's true.
But how are they going to be destroyed? They're out there. People are reading them.
No, the ones that people are reading are not all of them. The ones that are reading are just the ones that have been released, right?
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of not. I don't know. Part of me doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, of course it doesn't.
But it's just kind of all right. So these rich people fucked a bunch of kids. Great.
No, I mean I think it goes deeper than that. I think they fucked a bunch of kids. First of all, I mean they fucked a bunch of kids. Mm-hmm. That's alarming. First of all,
sure.
Especially since not so much. I mean, it is alarming that just the act itself, but also how it's been set up in such a way to, blackmail people. It's all just a blackmail web, is it not? I don't
know. I don't know anything about it really.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the thing. That's the implication is that you're dealing with people who have are extreme fucking sociopaths, and who only do anything because they're they don't do anything out of the goodness of their heart, or they're not motivated by justice or anything other than just hardcore blackmail. That's the only way you can control these people. Mm-hmm. So the only way that they are able to kind of get them to do what they want, to get each other to do what they want, is just to have video evidence of them fucking children, mm-hmm. so that they can coerce them into doing stuff. So it pulls the curtain back on the way that the government, the American government works. It's
probably all government.
You think all government is all based on child rape?
I think all government is fairly corrupt. Whether it's all based on blackmail and rape, maybe not, but it's all based on power and money.
Yeah, that is true, but I don't know. I think that you're right. I'm not going to make
I doubt that you could point to a government on the planet that you're sort of oh, that's the great government. It's just they're all terrible.
They're all terrible. You're right. It's all all shitty. There's nothing you can do about it.
We're just poor white guys. We have no influence or say in anything. So what's the point of even trying to put a spotlight on this? Doesn't matter.
You're right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. How
and don't pretend that if Epstein if Epstein saw the sadness and he was hey, I just saw the sadness. It was the fucking coolest movie I ever saw. I want you want to come on a ride on my plane? I'll take you down to my island. You wouldn't go?
Yeah, no, I totally would have gone. Yeah. But I mean, and
he wouldn't. It's not I'm saying he'd be hey, come to my island and fuck a kid. He would just say hey, I'm this fucking rich, influential dude. I got my own island. You want to come and hang out? We're going to have a big party. Elon Musk is going to be there. Matt Groening, all your, all your favorites, will be there.
Elon Musk, Matt Groening. Did you ever see Elon Musk on the Joe Rogan show? and he's like, and he goes, should we order pizza? Is that feasible? Do you think that'd be feasible? And I'm just like, this guy sucks. This guy's such a fucking dork. Like I just like, you really get a good sense of like his personality and the kind of guy that he is. And just like, ugh, he just is horrible. He's just the worst, dorkiest, lamest dude around, you know?
Well, I think it's like, it's a combination of he really is a dork, but he's a dork who really wants to be cool, or even like he thinks he's cool, which is like it's a toxic combination. Yeah.
Yeah. Like when he was like during that sort of time period when he was, someone should do a documentary. Actually, that's actually hilarious. Someone should do a documentary on like the period of time where Elon Musk decided to be cool, like to be publicly cool. And he was like going on stage and he was like, oh, chainsaw, oh, chainsaw. Remember that when he goes out on stage and he has that chainsaw, and it's just like, dude, you are not that guy. And it's so funny how, cause the guy who's financed my projects thus far is a fucking pebble of fucking sand on compared to like Elon Musk, you know, which is like a comparatively like a mountain in terms of wealth. But anyways, he is surrounded by people who just, you know, like including like hot babes and stuff who just tell him he's great and awesome and cool. And after a while, you really start to just believe it, you know? You're just like, of course I'm awesome and cool, you know? And like Elon Musk is obviously like all the people he surrounds himself with just want to stay in his good graces. So like when he makes a joke, when he makes a fucking reference to, you know, the life of Brian, everyone's like, that's hilarious. That's so cool how you reference the life of Brian. And then the hot fucking model is like, oh yeah, I know what that is. I love that movie. I actually love Monty Python. And then he's like, you know what? I'm going to get out there and I'm going to show everyone that I'm not just a guy with money. I'm not just some egghead. I'm a cool guy too. I'm a cool guy too.
Right.
And he's going to get out there and he's going to be like, chainsaw. Hey, is it feasible to get some pizza, Joe Rogan? And then everyone's like, this guy sucks. Fuck this guy. Boo. And then he, you know, I mean, you're still a human being. And I can only imagine that like being, you know, really like, limitlessly wealthy, like to have wealth with no limit. And you know, essentially, you know, want for absolutely nothing and just have everything in the world available to you, except the love and adoration of like just your fellow man, like the public, like just there's no way that one can buy that.
You can't.
It's impossible. Cool. You can't buy cool. You can't buy likability. And that must just like the fact that he's so rich and can't have that must, you know, that the wealth must exacerbate that. Like it must be like just soul crushing to just be like, wow, I'm like, I have all this and I still can't be cool, you know, like it must be so upsetting, as opposed to like me, you know, if a lot of people don't think I'm cool, it's like, well, why should they think I'm cool? You know, like for someone like that,
you don't necessarily like, he clearly has a drive and a desire. Like, I want to be cool. I want people to see me as cool. I don't think we have that same drive.
We're both vain. We definitely are both vain people, because that's what we do. We make our work and then we put it out there and we expect people to,
well, we hope people will like it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's important to, you know, when I was doing like promo, like you've done promo before, you've done interviews and stuff like that.
Right.
You want people to think you're cool. You want people to like
but
you.
I mean, I don't
what an interesting guy.
I don't feel like I want people to like my work and to think it's cool. Do I want them to think I'm cool? Or do I care about like that? I mean, I don't want to look like an idiot, but I don't have a drive to be like, you know, you're never going to see me get the chainsaw out and be like, I'm a fucking cool badass, or I'm going to be like Quentin Tarantino and talk like a wigger, you know, to get black people to like me.
That was so funny. That was so
because he's
funny.
sort of another, maybe in a subset of that, of just like a kind of a nerd who is desperately wants to be cool. But then there's also like, I think, artists who like they want to make work that is cool. Like they want to be like, they want their, like everything about the work is just like, I'm a cool guy and I'm making a cool movie. Like I think Rob Zombie is kind of like in that camp.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if his personality is that way, but his work is that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like it's it's sort of you can't really get away with just making work though, especially like these days. Like it's like you have to kind of, people care about who's making, like who's making the work that they're consuming.
Well, yeah,
More,
that's why my career's the toilet. Like I never do anything. Like I'm not like I have no interest in being some sort of influencer personality. Like I just don't have a drive to do it. It just seems exhausting.
Yeah. Well, you're doing this. This is this is what I'm helping you with.
But I feel like it's, you're asking me to do it, and I mean, I wouldn't do this on my own.
Right.
And so, I'm participating, but like, I don't have that personal drive where I'm going to like set the camera up and be like, hey guys, so here's what's going on.
Yeah. Well, that's part of why people like you, is because you're like a curmudgeon and you drag your feet. Like even today, like today, I think is our 48th episode.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll send you, and I email you and I'm like, or I message you and I said, oh, I'll send you the link in 15 minutes. And you're like, can't wait. Like, you're like,
I was being sincere.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Wow. It's just so funny how just like, you're just like, whatever. I hope that you die, like
I didn't say that yet.
I know you didn't say that. That's where you draw the line.
Boy,
I hope you die.
That's a leap. Yeah. I can't wait is in your mind translated, I hope you die.
Well, yeah, I was raised Catholic after all. Okay. So
be careful what I say now.
Yeah. Be very careful. I'm very sensitive. So what the hell? We're talking about
talking about Eyes Wide Shut, for Christ's sake.
Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah, go ahead. Let's start. What's the little? Should we do a little background on this thing? Like Stanley Kubrick, I guess, didn't want to shoot in America anymore because he thought America was gay, so he wanted to shoot in England.
he made a official statement in 1970. He just said, "America's gay. I'm gone."
Yeah, I'm out of here.
And he moved to England, and from that point on, everything he shot everything just like a couple miles away from his house.
Yeah. What about like, did you hear that like Stanley Kubrick was trying to do like a Napoleon movie for like a long ass time, and he never got around to making it, and it was like this like big project that he was trying to put together?
Yeah.
Was that that was like after this, right? Or was it just sort of like,
well, this Eyes Wide Shut was his very last movie. So it's 1999 it came out. But he had been trying to make this movie for almost like his entire career. And he was trying to figure out how to do it. But Napoleon was happening like after 2001. So we're talking like late 60s, early 70s. He was trying to figure it out. And there was a lot of resistance, and I think there was like other Napoleon movies that might have come out. One with Rod Steiger around that time too, and every Napoleon movie was kind of a failure. So nobody was looking for another fucking Napoleon movie.
Stanley, baby, I love you, but no one wants to hear about Napoleon.
But I think he just put all that that effort into Barry Lyndon.
Right.
And I mean, every once in a while, like the desire to make it would sort of pop up, but then he would get distracted by something else that seemed to be more makeable, and then he would just do that. But this was a movie this was something he'd been trying to figure out for a very long time.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
What do you mean by figure out? Like just
it's based on a short story novella called Dream Novel, or The Dream Story, by a German writer from the 1920s. And it's extremely faithful to that story. I think he actually kind of it's a good story, but I think he actually like improves it in a lot of ways. The whole Sidney Pollack character is added. That whole scene in the billiard room at the end, that's all Stanley. But pretty much everything else is all in the book.
Yeah. Like the masquerade and all that kind of stuff, and this sort of, secret society of debutantes.
He actually, I think, does a better job of like fleshing a lot of that stuff out. I think he does a better job of like fleshing out that masquerade party. He does a better job, like that. The party at the beginning at Sidney Pollack's house is, it's only like mentioned in passing in the book, where they're coming home from the party and they start talking about, stuff after they come home from the party. But it's cool the way that Kubrick does it, because both parties are sort of like mirror images of each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's like, good party, bad party. A lot of sort of mirror shit going on in the story.
Good party, better party.
Well, by bad party I meant good party.
Yeah, like the way that cool people say, like they say bad, but they really mean good.
Yeah.
And to shake your booty means to wiggle your butt.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyhow,
you're starting to sound like Elon Musk.
Yeah, exactly.
Is wiggling your butt feasible?
Yeah. Oh, could you please wiggle your butt? Well,
your Musk, your Musk impression is pretty spot on.
Yeah. I mean, he just goes like, oh.
It's good though. It's not easy to do.
It's subtle. But once you see someone else kind of do it and they figure it out, and you're like, oh, got it. That's what you need to do. But anyways, so yeah, like Eyes Wide Shut, famously starring the two biggest stars at the time, Nicole Kidman married stars, Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise. But anyways, so she's taking a pee, and we watch her take a pee, and then they're off to this party, and we can kind of see Tom Cruise is a physician, and they live in it's wealth is like a big part of this movie, and we start out in an apartment. Like we've seen this kind of Manhattan, whatever you call it, like what's the like rich part of town in New York, like Central Park West or
Upper West Side, I guess.
Upper West Side, yeah. So this kind of Upper West Side apartment that's like an entire floor, or maybe like half a floor, and they got all sorts of paintings on the walls and everything, and you really get a sense like, oh yeah, this is like a rich New York apartment. I've seen this before.
That's
and then they go
Kubrick's wife's paintings.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, you really know a lot about this movie. Wow.
Look, before every episode, I do an exhaustive research. I went through all the Kubrick files. I went through all the Eyes Wide Shut files.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's true actually. Like you act like you don't care, but the truth is that you care a lot,
Yeah, see, that's how you be. That's the trick to being cool.
Yeah. That's Johnny Ryan's love language. Yeah. Like he'll never say it out loud, but he'll go and he'll do a bunch of Wikipedia research. That's his love language. I talked, I think it might have even been Susie actually. She said that she hated that term love language.
Oh, okay.
She was like, what does that even mean? I don't know. I wish she was here. I wish that we could revisit that conversation, because I thought it was pretty funny how she was like angry at that terminology.
It doesn't make me angry, but I do think it's a little, I don't know, kind of silly.
Mm-hmm. Anywho, so then we go to a really fucking rich guy's house. You know, we go to like Sidney Pollock's house, and they're having a big party, and
Christmas party.
The two break off from each other. And
I think we should say that like this is very much like a Christmas movie. Like there's a Christmas tree in almost every scene. Like every scene of the movie, like he's got a Christmas tree in his house. He's got a Christmas tree in his doctor's office. There's a Christmas tree at the Sidney Pollock party. Christmas trees at the Nick Nightingale bar. Like there's Christmas trees and Christmas decorations and shit all over town, except at the Somerton party.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Sure. So it takes place at Christmas time, indeed. And there's like, you know, that vibe is present throughout. This Christmas party is decorated appropriately. There's like, you know, lights and stuff hanging up in the rafters. Anyways, the two break off, and Nicole Kidman is like almost immediately zeroed in upon by like some weird Euro guy who's like, you know, a smooth operator. Mm-hmm. And then Tom Cruise is like walking around, and then all of a sudden he's got like a couple hot sluts on either arm, and he's like, and they're like, wouldn't you like us to give you a double blowjob? And he's just like, well, I don't know about that.
He doesn't
and he's
say
just
that.
Kind of,
they don't say that.
I know.
They just say they're like we're going to take you to the end of the rainbow.
Right. But the point is that he's, you know, they're saying sexy stuff to him, and he's just kind of like, you know, goofily laughing and kind of just being like, oh, this is crazy. Oh my God. You know, like, it's a little bit funny. But then all of a sudden, one of Sidney Pollock's aides, comes up to Tom Cruise and says, excuse me, sir, you come over here. We need your help. So he goes upstairs, and there's this like banging hot broad that's OD'd on a speedball, according to Sidney Pollock.
Right.
And Sidney Pollock's just wearing like slacks and suspenders and no shirt. And it's very disturbing to me for some reason. He's just I don't know.
He doesn't look like somebody. You definitely don't want to see Sidney Pollock fucking.
No.
He's just not that kind of a guy. I mean, he seems like a nice guy and everything, but yeah, it's like watching Sidney Pollock fuck doesn't seem like it would be a fun time.
Victor Ziegler is his name.
Okay. Yeah, he's an important part of the movie, but yeah, he's completely invented for the movie. Like he's not in the book.
Yeah, right. He's sort of, yeah, that's actually the probably for me the most interesting part of the film is that usually when you think of, or, you know, I guess usually when like the most like, I don't know, stereotypical kind of idea of like what these rich elite sort of quasi occultists, what they behave like, you kind of think of like, just to jump ahead a little bit, you kind of think of like what the masked guy at the when Tom Cruise later goes to like the fucking spooky party, the masquerade party, mm-hmm. And he gets caught, and then there's that guy, and he's like, you know, what is the password, please? And he's like that guy. Like usually you'd think that these people would all kind of behave like that, like even without masks on, like they would just talk like that and behave like that. Mm-hmm. But Sidney Pollock's character just comes off just like a really normal guy who you know, probably doesn't know about a lot of stuff. You know, he doesn't know that it's called a speedball. You know, he gets like flustered, and
he seems just like an older bourgeois kind of a New York guy.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though is that he just comes off as a normal guy. Like I think that's the emphasis. The emphasis is just on he's just a guy, and
Definitely not someone who's involved in some sort of secret organization.
right. And that's kind of the scary thing, because he's just like you, except that he's, again, like wealthy to a degree that is, effectively limitless. And, and then he just kind of allows that to just change him into someone who, just doesn't have to, who can literally have anything that he wants at any time. And he doesn't have to worry about anything or any kind of repercussion or any kind of, consequence. And then, so like, what does he want? Like, all he wants to do is just like fuck just the hottest broads and, and just have the best stuff all the time. And in some cases, just sort of subjugate people and see them kind of like suffer and writhe before him, like I guess it kind of makes me think of like, cause we see that with sort of with how Donald Trump kind of behaves. Like he behaves like a teenager. Like he just seems like he doesn't seem like an adult. He seems like someone who's 14, but who's like 80 or however old he is. And and the way he speaks and behaves and talks with people and stuff, there's sort of this banal kind of casualness to it that wouldn't disturb me if he was just some guy. But because he's the most powerful man in the world, effectively, I find it to be very disturbing. Like just seeing people who wield all this power kind of behave without any kind of, I don't know, what's the word? Like, I don't know what I would perceive as being like, temperament or discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of that kind of thing I find to be scary, because it's like, it's not what's different that scares me. It's like what's the same that scares me. Like all my shitty base, desires and problems that I have with my, with myself. Like they probably all have that shit too, and they're petty and they're driven by stupid, shitty, trivial things like revenge or lust, and they're weak-willed. But the only difference is that they have like all the money in the world to just kind of pursue those things, and that's. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of like, I felt like I was clear on what I was trying to say, like maybe about a minute ago, but now I'm kind of like, it's all becoming diffuse and I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
Well, it's sort of like, Sidney Pollack is, he's very wealthy, but there's also something very kind of average and normal about him.
That's what I'm saying.
And so the fact that, it's revealed that he's part of this organization, it kind of makes it more real. Like, these people are just kind of walking amongst us, and you wouldn't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they told you, like, "Oh yeah, this is what I do on the weekends," you would just be kind of like, "Wait, what?" That's crazy.
Yeah, and there are people who can just like, have people killed, on a whim. And suffer no consequences.
But also, like when he's in the process of defending himself and what happened to Tom Cruise, Bill Harford, he's very believable. Like it's very kind of like, oh come on, man, that was just she was a junkie prostitute and she just took a bunch of drugs and killed herself. Like the whole thing was just totally performative. We all were just like trying to, scare you. It's not, it was all just fake.
Yeah.
He's believable. Like you are like, yeah, Tom Cruise is just crazy.
Yeah. He gaslights him.
Yeah. He does a good job too. And I think the fact that he is so kind of down to earth, it works in his favor.
Yeah. For sure. Absolutely. Um, that's the most interesting part of the film
Do you remember
for
when the
me.
movie, like right before it came out, you would hear like things in the news about, they were working on it, and I had heard a story that Harvey Keitel was part of the cast, and he was fired because he jacked off into Nicole Kidman's hair. Is that true?
I heard that Harvey Keitel
Like he came in her
quit.
hair.
Yeah, no, I understand what jerk off means.
But I mean, like, not just like it wasn't just like, he like jerked off to completion. I just want to make that clear.
Right, right. I understand.
It wasn't just
yeah,
like she was like jerking off and then they're like, hey, no, cut that out. Like actual semen came out of him into Nicole
Right.
Kidman's hairdo.
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't just kind of like, sort of tickle his penis head on her curly red hair. No, I didn't hear that. What I heard, maybe this wasn't for Eyes Wide Shut, but it seems like it would make sense. Harvey Keitel quit working for Stanley Kubrick because he just was, he was doing like 80 takes just walking through a fucking doorway or something.
Right.
And then Harvey Keitel was just like, this guy's crazy, I'm leaving.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I heard.
Well, I mean, that's a well-known trait of Stanley Kubrick. He's sort of known for that.
Yeah. I think that Harvey Keitel jerking off into Nicole Kidman's hair sounds to me like Marilyn Manson removing his rib so he can suck his own dick.
So totally true.
So totally true. Yeah, exactly. There's got to be a joke. Like, could it be like McDonald's discontinued the McRib so that Ronald McDonald could suck his own dick?
Okay.
Is that funny?
Oh,
no. Okay.
Well,
anyways, trying to figure out something here. Just trying to riff here, but fine. If you're not gonna yes and me, then we won't continue with any of this improv. What's next to say about the Eyes Wide Shut?
Now I'm trying to figure out where we were.
We
were talking about.
We were kind of just talking about Ziegler, but I mean.
Oh well, we were still at that party, and
yeah.
We kind of got derailed when you were like mooning over Sidney Pollack without his shirt on.
Yeah.
Mooning. So when when Tom Cruise comes into the bathroom, there's that hot stripper who OD'd on a speedball, and Tom Cruise, because he's a doctor, kind of, I don't know, he just kind of like taps her face a couple times and says, "Hey, look at me! Come on, come back! Look at me!"
Yeah.
And then she's all better.
Yeah.
But he makes this gesture towards like trying to stop her from ODing. Maybe he gives her some water or something.
Well, I mean, they freaked out, and he came up there, and it turned out that it maybe wasn't so bad. They just did their due diligence to bring in a doctor. And I guess a doctor wasn't necessary. If they just had waited like another 15 minutes, she kind of would have come back.
But I mean, ultimately, this gesture, at least we're led to believe, possibly saves his life later.
Yeah.
When he's at the party, and she basically saves his life from being who knows what they were going to do to him at the party, masquerade party. So she basically like martyrs herself to save this guy who kind of
tapped her on the face.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So then, like, there's the big thing, like the big I don't know, like the driving element of like the conflict between Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise is where they get high and then she tells him about how she fantasized about like some soldier that she wanted to fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and it drives Tom Cruise into a rage, and he ends up like, you know, this is sort of what you know takes on the burden of driving the conflict for like probably the rest of the movie or the majority of the movie.
Her just like having this fantasy is enough to. I mean, I'm assuming that Tom Cruise, he's just sort of like what her fantasy was just tantamount to actually cheating on him.
Yeah.
So he's basically like, okay, well, you cheated on me. Well, I'm going to have some fun, on my own too.
Yeah.
So that, but he doesn't say that to her. He just sort of like, you know, he just hears her story, and then he gets a phone call. One of his patients has just died or something. And so he's got to go and, for some reason, he's got to go and see the family of this dead patient. And, when he gets to that apartment, he meets the daughter of the patient that just died, and she reveals that she's completely in love with him. And it's actually kind of funny when, like, having read that for the years that Stanley Kubrick was trying to develop this, oftentimes he was thinking of it, approaching it as a comedy. And so he was thinking of like casting like Woody Allen or Steve Martin,
right,
in the role. Because there is something kind of comedic about like this guy, you know, he wants to sort of get back at his wife for fantasizing cheating on him. And so he has all these encounters, all these opportunities, and not a single one of them works out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there is something, I guess, that could be played for comedy in that.
You know what? That's funny because this film, I think, I like this film, first of all, but like, it does feel like at times like it should be funnier than it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels like this, you know, this feels like a setup where I should be laughing a little more than I am, and I'm not laughing. But yeah, sorry. So did you say that like you read that this was intended to be more of a comedy? That's what the original idea was supposed to be?
I'm just saying that during the like whatever 30 or whatever odd years that Stanley Kubrick was considering making this into a movie, there were times that he would actively considered to make this into a straight on comedy.
That's well then yes, the answer is yes. Like,
but I don't think he necessarily intended this final product to be a comedy.
No, absolutely not.
But I mean, in the same way that like Clockwork Orange has comedic elements to it, and same thing with The Shining. You know, I think that there's comedic elements in it, but I wouldn't say it's a comedy.
No, I mean you know, you have like, yeah, sure, comedic elements, whatever. Like, what's the comedic element in The Shining that you're thinking of?
Oh, like Jack Nicholson's whole performance is like hilarious, and the fact that like there's this black guy who travels like 1,000,000 miles through horrible weather to get to the hotel, and then just like immediately gets an axe in his stomach.
Yeah, but that's you know, you have to be looking at it like from a certain perspective to call that like comedy. You know, like I think that most people wouldn't take that.
But I think like a lot, like, I mean, here's Johnny. Like, come on, there's so many lines in The Shining that are like, I think Stanley Kubrick had a fairly, you know, he's from the Bronx. I think he had a fairly good sense of humor, and I think that comes out in a lot of his films.
Sure, but I think we're getting lost in the weeds here because we're not talking. There's a lot of overlap between horror. Like for example, like Scatman Crothers traveling all the way through like on the Snowcat, and then all of a sudden getting very unceremoniously dispatched by Jack Nicholson. You could take that as sort of like a comedic. Like, I mean, it could be presented as a comedic scene, but it's more just like like a rug pull. But that like a rug pull in and of itself is actually like a comedy framework. It's like set them up and then knock them down. Make the audience think one thing, but then actually surprise them, and then that's where the effect is happening. Mm-hmm. But the point I'm just trying to make is that comedic elements, like maybe like the structure of something comedic, doesn't ultimately have to like result in something that's like comedy. To say that there are comedic elements and stuff in horror, the horror can still function 100% as like a horror.
Sure.
But you're just using some of like the tricks of
well, I mean, just to stay on Eyes Wide Shut, like the scene when he goes to get the costume and there's the Eastern European guy who's asking him advice for his balding problem, and then he hears something in the other room, and it turns out it's his daughter, and she's there with two Japanese guys, and they're all dressed up in fruity outfits. There's definitely a comedic element to that.
There's a really funny line in Eyes Wide Shut where Nicole Kidman is like, it's earlier on in the film, and she's in her underwear and they're smoking weed, and then she starts like raising her voice, and then Tom Cruise is like, "You need to relax. This pot is making you aggressive." Do you remember that?
Of course.
Yeah. Like I can't imagine that not being meant to be funny. It's just too obviously hilarious.
Sometimes but anyways, I read that like they would do so many takes, and he would sort of encourage actors to kind of like improv a little bit. So that sounds like something that Tom Cruise would sort of make.
Yeah. Yeah. There's all the people love talking about how they shot this movie in London.
Right.
And
well, I don't know if it's in London or it's just in England.
Okay. So they shot it in England, but they just sort of made this sort of like fake New York City for right. Tom Cruise to walk around in. And in some cases, he's just on some kind of like rear projection setup, walking on a treadmill. That, that there's some parts where that's the truth as well. But, like the part where those like frat boys, like kind of like,
yeah, I love that part.
Nudge him over, and he's like, but yeah, I mean, I guess
go
I
back
like
to
that
San
part.
Francisco.
Yeah. They call him a fag, but, the quote unquote New York that the art department has put together is just so funny. Like it just doesn't look like New York City at all, like in any other movie that I've seen. But I mean, it's so bizarre.
It is. I mean, it's based on a book called Dream Story. So the sort of fakeness of it kind of adds to that, actually.
I don't think so.
I do.
I don't care. I don't care what the novel is titled. Oh, it's called Dream Novel. So everything can be wrong. There's no reason why anything has to look like it should look.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have, I'm not saying it looks enough like New York, but it's just like slightly off, which gives it a unsettling, strange quality to it. I think that adds to the point of the story.
Sure. I wouldn't say that I was unsettled by the look of it. I just was sort of like, this doesn't look like New York City. It's kind of like in Short Circuit 2, how they shoot it in Toronto and they have like Toronto streetcars going up and down the street. And it's just like, welcome to New York City. Welcome to Wall Street. And it's like, there's Toronto, like TTC, like streetcars going up and down the street with the electrical lines above it. And you're just like, this is not New York City. Everyone knows this is New York City. What the fuck are you talking about?
God damn it. Short Circuit 2.
Short Circuit 2.
Lying to me.
And Eyes Wide Shut. They're cut of the same cloth.
Be a great double feature.
Yeah. That's so funny. That movie is so funny.
New York movies.
Is it Christopher Guest in that movie?
No, it's the other guy from that fake band.
Spinal Tap?
Spinal Tap. It's Lenny from Lenny and Squiggy.
Hold on a second. Short Circuit. Oh, right. Short Circuit 2. It's Michael McKean.
That's him.
Yeah. That's so funny. And then Fisher Stevens playing an Indian guy, famously playing an Indian guy, reprising his role from Short Circuit 1 as an Indian guy.
I don't think I saw Short Circuit 1, but I saw Short Circuit 2.
Short Circuit 1 is with Steve Guttenberg and that girl who's like the goth. And the what?
DeBarge.
What's DeBarge?
It's a musical group.
Wait, hold on a second. I know that the girl from Short Circuit 1 is like the girl from the Breakfast Club. Right. And she was from DeBarge?
No. DeBarge they did the famous song from Short Circuit.
Oh, what's that? Sing a few bars.
Who's Johnny? Remember that one?
No. Who made who?
That's from Overdrive.
XM Overdrive. That's ACDC.
Who's Johnny? She said and smiled in her special way. Remember that one?
No. That's before my time. You would have been like already like,
Okay.
You would have already have been receiving blowjobs at that time. Like
during the
you were awake. Yeah, exactly. You were awake to the world, getting
I was
jerked
eyes
off.
wide shut.
Yeah, you were asshole wide shut. What the have you ever gotten a hand job in a movie theater?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I fooled around, but I don't know if I actually got like a full hand job.
You mean like to completion, like Harvey Keitel and Nicole Kidman's hair?
Yeah, I never came in somebody's hair in a movie theater.
Yeah, I never.
The person sitting in front of.
Yeah. Oh man,
that'd be good. Like those Nicole Kidman promos when she walks into the movie theater and she does her little.
Oh right, like in the. That's so funny. Like the thing, I forgot. Like in American movie theaters, that
what did she say? She says something like, "Somehow heartbreak feels great in a place like this," or something.
Right, some stupid shit. But
it'd be cool if like Harvey Keitel was like right behind her, masturbating in her hair.
Yeah. He was like she walks through a doorway and he's just like, kind of has his legs braced in the doorway and he's like above her and he's jerking off downward, like he's jizzing like on her from above.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the whole fucking that whole thing with Short Circuit, the connection between Eyes Wide Shut and Short Circuit 2, it's something definitely that should be
But I don't think there's anything in any of the like fake New York and Eyes Wide Shut that makes you think like, oh, look, there's a some kind of there's an electric trolley line. That's not New York City. Like there's nothing. It's just like fake buildings and.
Yeah. It's more about, for me, it's more about the lighting and just about, just how it looks like a set really is the big thing for me.
I mean, but the thing is, it's not like it's not like he's in London pretending like, oh, we're in New York City.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. There's a movie
But same
called,
thing like with The Shining, like all that in like inside of the hotel and shit. That's just all in England too.
yeah. Is that right?
I think so.
Oh, I didn't realize that was shot in, I didn't realize that movie was shot in England.
See, you were like, wow, you were like, Colorado's so beautiful. Look at all this great footage.
Well, I mean,
meanwhile, you're looking at London.
We're talking about an interior. We're talking about
like, look at all that
inside of a building.
Colorado light coming through the windows.
Yeah. That's not the way it looks in Europe. Anyway, so I don't know. Like we kind of already talked. This is a different way that the way that we've been discussing Eyes Wide Shut is different than normally the way we do it. I feel like we've already kind of gotten to like the end when we were talking about Ziegler, and there's that scene in the billiards room where he goes to confront the guy, where he goes to confront him. Tom Cruise does, and he tells him that it was all just an act, and he should just kind of drop it because the girl died because she was a junkie. You're spinning your wheels about nothing really, and it's best for you just to let this go because it's not going to benefit you in any way. Like, I mean, is it like because I feel like going through this movie like kind of scene by scene is not that helpful. It's more just kind of like touching on like the important bits. Mm-hmm. There's this whole sort of like paranoia kind of element to it, and then there's also like that's about like sort of being persecuted by this shadowy and very powerful organization. That's
and I think like all the paranoia stuff is done very well.
Me too.
I really like, because after when he leaves the party, and then he's trying to like figure out what happened and who these people were, and he tries to find his friend Nick Nightingale,
the piano player
who told him about the party and gave him the password to the party. He tries to find him, but he's been sort of disappeared. Mm-hmm. There's really great scene between Tom Cruise and Alan Cumming when Alan Cumming plays the hotel clerk, recounting how Nick Nightingale was disappeared and how he tried to slip Alan Cumming a note as he was being dragged off, but they grabbed the note before he could hand it to him. That stuff was great. And then like that whole scene where he's walking down the fake New York streets, and there's like, he thinks he's being followed. And then he like stops off at the newsstand, and the guy's kind of like watching him as he's got the newspaper that says like, the title, the headline of the newspaper is like "Barely Made It Out Alive" or something. But that scene's great, and the music's fucking great too.
Dun, 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 dun.
I also like the music, like when he walks into the cult and they're playing that backwards chanting as they're like doing as the women are taking off their clothes and shit. That's great.
Yeah. All that stuff's cool. And they get a lot of hot babes too. You get to see some really hot natural tits in this movie, which is nice to see.
Yeah, it's like he like he had a very specific type of woman in mind.
Yeah, like just sort of like just find women who are like perfect looking, but like without any kind of surgical alterations,
right?
Like real tits, but they look like fake tits. Is probably was the brief that he gave.
But they're also like they're all very statuesque, very tall.
Yeah, like models.
Very model, but not but still like not like rail thin, like a runway
Victoria's
model.
Secret model.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Victoria, like fucking what's his face, like the guy who gave Epstein all his money, the guy
Ghislaine Maxwell,
not Ghislaine Maxwell, but the fucking the guy who
Matt Groening.
Matt Groening. Who's the guy who runs Victoria's Secret and gave Jeffrey Epstein all his money?
That's a deep cut. I don't know that one. Les Moonves.
Les Wexner.
Les Wexner.
You
know what? Les Wexner. Les Wexner in your life.
That's a good pun. It's a great pun.
See, that's
all right.
So, joke.
Yeah, the fact that they have like a child too, that Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise have a child, and the child kind of like is there for 2 seconds in the beginning, and then she's just gone, and then she just reappears at the very end is pretty funny too.
Oh, the other thing that I really like about the movie was when, after he comes back from the party, he returns home. He hides his costume, and then he's getting into bed, and his wife is like asleep, but she's like laughing in her sleep. This is like a great scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then she like wakes up, and he's like, "Oh, you know what you're laughing in your sleep." And she's like, "Oh, I just had this crazy dream." And then she recounts a dream where she's basically she's fucking hundreds of men and laughing at him as she's fucking all these men, and that again, like, it's just like, you can't win with this lady. Like every time he's like with his wife just like makes him feel worse and worse,
right?
Because then like that just kind of perpetuates the same thing. So like the next day he's still like, you know, he's going back to that prostitute that he sees the night before, finding out that she has AIDS, and then even like calling that crazy lady whose father died with the maybe possible intention of like hooking up with her.
Right.
But the wife recounting the dream kind of makes you think, like, was she at the masquerade party? Like she's basically recounting like what the women were doing at the party.
Yeah.
Was she there too? And I really like that. I like that kind of mystery.
Yeah. There's like, what's going on? What's going on here? Is there something? Is there just sort of like the edge of something supernatural going on here? Maybe like, or is you know, or is she hiding something? Like, yeah, there is sort of like a funny kind of like uncertainty with that bit. Just like those scenes are great in this film.
Because like with I had read too that the guy that she's dancing with at the beginning, the sort of Eastern European smooth talking dude.
Yeah, the smooth customer.
He's got like some kind of Masonic pin on his lapel, implying that maybe he's also involved.
Right.
You know, maybe he's recruiting talent for the masquerade party. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine that he's you know, like he's there. He's involved. You know, he seems of the right demographic. Anyway, at the end of the fucking movie, Nicole Kidman says that they have to fuck, and that's how the movie ends. Is there anything else you want to say about it?
I don't know. I mean, when I saw the movie when it came out, I don't think I liked it very much. I think I kind of just thought it was underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
A guy goes to some masked orgy. Who cares?
Yeah, and they don't even fuck, like they don't even do any like thing that crazy. They're just kind of like having like uh, cowgirl sex.
Well, I also like if you watch too, like as he's walking through the house observing the sex, there's always like two people perfectly placed in front of the people having sex, so you can't see the sex, just know that those people are having sex, but you can't see anything.
Right.
And then there's like some pussy eating going on, which seems weird to be able to. How do you do that when you have a 19th century opera mask on your face?
Maybe maybe it's the mask is the mask from Clockwork Orange with the big fucking dildo in the nose. Yeah.
It's possible. But yeah, you don't really see much big nosed masks at the party.
That's true. Maybe they kept them in the back room for the orgy.
Swap out the mask. Swap out your short nose mask for a long nose mask.
Exactly.
But rewatching it, I definitely appreciated it more. I think it has it's more relevant now than it was then.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like the movie that we've talked about already called Black Sunday.
That's right. It's also like Jeepers Creepers too.
It's like Short Circuit 2. It's like Jeepers Creepers, a little bit like Ghoulies, but
like
mostly
the kid in Jeepers Creepers, he sees something that he shouldn't have seen,
right?
And then he's fucking on the run.
And then and then a psychic black lady, sort of fills in all the pieces for us. But seriously, like I think I probably have said this before, but with Black Sunday,
I thought you were going to say when black ladies tell you something, you better listen.
Well, that goes without saying, listen to black women. That is the official stance of the Public Figures podcast. But I was going to say that when Black Sunday came out, I think the novel, or maybe the movie, because I'm not sure how popular the novel was, but people didn't like it because they felt like it was too far-fetched that like a terrorist attack could happen on U.S. soil like that. And then, and then everyone was like, yeah, I just can't relate to it because it's just so fake. And then like, Oklahoma City, one happens, and then also 9/11. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, like Black Sunday, if it just had come out kind of like closer to one of either of those things, then maybe Oklahoma City bombing, and the First World Trade Center. Those were both like guys from Betrayed, like white nationalist, like Zog type guys. Is that right?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I guess 9/11 was the first like sort of foreign actors who were doing it. Anyways,
well, I mean, look, it is sort of strange. I mean, that I can see that being sort of the strange element in the Black Sunday stories, that like Bruce Dern is now like a full-fledged jihadist Islamic terrorist, just like a white dude in the army becomes an Islamic terrorist.
That's not true. He doesn't ever adopt any of the doctrine. He just wants to get back at America. So he's just working with the
that's true.
PLA.
But I mean, still like making that like for him to do that seems, and then even like not like doing it and not adopting, like sort of like, okay, I'll participate in your jihad, but I'm not doing it because I like you guys or what you stand for. I'm just going to do it because I'm mad because I didn't get that pension or something.
No, it's because he. Oh, let's talk about
or like I'm against the Vietnam War or something.
No, it's because he was a POW, and they just abandoned him. They just let him fucking stay in a POW camp where he was. It's implied that he was tortured sexually and otherwise. And when he returned when he returned back to America, he found that his wife had left him for the soldier who came to give him the news.
The quarterback of the football team.
Yeah, no, the guy who's like, Mrs. Johnson, we're sorry to say that your husband has died in the war, or your husband has been taken prisoner and he's not coming back from Vietnam. That guy, the guy who actually gave the message in person at the door, is who she ends up leaving him for. Okay. So he feels especially betrayed because like the government also told him. The government also told his wife that, even if your husband does return, 85% of these guys can't get an erection afterwards. Just be aware of that,
But I sort of feel like that whole kind of like setup is a lot more convoluted than just kind of like, I hate the Zionist occupational government, and I'm going to fucking blow up the Oklahoma City DMV or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, sure. I agree with you, but like I wouldn't want them to change it. I like
go back and change that change it to Zog, please.
Yeah, I like understanding Bruce Stern's character. I like kind of empathizing with him. I think that's one of the interesting parts of that film. But anyways, Eyes Wide Shut. What's your eggplant rating? Let's fucking wrap this shit up.
I'm gonna give it a 5.
It's a 5 out of 5 for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. For me, like it's a 4. I watched it when it first came out, and I was like, that was pretty cool. And now I watch it now, and I'm like, it's pretty cool, and it's more relevant. Like the topics are sort of in the news now. So, I think it's a good movie. I think it's great, but it's I don't know. It's definitely. What's the last movie that we talked about that got a 5? Like, it was probably Spositions. We both gave a 5 actually.
Oh yeah, that's great.
I gave Romper Stomper a 5.
That's
is
a 5.
Eyes Wide Shut is Eyes Wide Shut better than or as good as Romper Stomper?
They're two different films, but yeah, if I was curating a movie theater and I was showing Romper Stomper and I saw Eyes Wide Shut, Romper Stomper, I'd be like, man, this is a great lineup.
Eyes Wide Shut, triple feature, Eyes Wide Shut, Romper Stomper, and Short Circuit 2.
Expositions and Jeepers Creepers.
Jeepers Creepers. We should do Jeepers Creepers. We should do the entire filmography of Victor Salva, the child rapist, the pederast. Or just feature films that have been made by sex offenders. So the Bryan Singer oeuvre.
Who's the guy that got in trouble at Nickelodeon?
Oh, Garrett.
He was in Revenge of the Return of the Living Dead.
Oh, right.
The Mohawk guy.
Oh God, I fucking hate that guy. His name's like
Brian.
What's the name of that? Yeah, it's like Brian
Peck.
Brian Peck. There you go. You're right. And I hate how that guy like he decided to sort of spearhead all like the Return of the Living Dead documentary and he's the one who kind of like went ahead and kind of was like, I was in Return of the Living Dead. I played fucking Scuzz or whatever, like just this nothing character. And he's the one going to all these conventions and stuff and like, being the face of Return of the Living Dead. And it's just like, fuck, now I have to go around like, because I love Return of the Living Dead. That's like one of my favorite zombie movies. We should talk about that one of these days. I was actually thinking there was another movie that I wanted to talk about, but I lost it. I was going to bring it up. I hate this. I hate this shit where I don't write something down. I'm just like, I'll remember. And then I just can't, it never works. And I never learn my lesson. Bullshit. But Return of the Living Dead is one that we should probably talk about. 85. What a great revelation. The first time seeing Return of the Living Dead.
Excellent.
Just like amazing. All right, cool. Let's call it a day. I'll put this thing together and put it up on the internet.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.